Alright, this is Fantasy Football in 5, and we are back for another week. This time we will be talking about some sleepers and some busts. Now, last time we talked about the preseason and the wrap-up of that, and if you haven't seen that,
check it below.
Alright, now a couple of busts this year in fantasy, I think include ones like Russell Wilson. Now, you might not think he's a bust, but I think he'll have a little bit of a down year. He won't be as mobile as he normally is, simply because people are going to be cracking down on that. And I just think he'll have a little bit of a down year. And there's also Jonathan Stewart from Carolina. Now, this is the first year that he's gotten all the carries for the team, and he's never had a healthy season. So look for him to get injured and don't rely on him.
All right, also, Julius Thomas, Jacksonville tight end. He was traded over from Denver this year, and so that's obviously a big downgrade for him. Even though he might be the primary target for Blake Bortles, do not rely on him this season. C.J. Anderson for the Denver Broncos. Monte Ball was just cut, so they're going with the two-back system with Hillman and Anderson. I still think Anderson is not going to have as productive a season as people think, although he's projected to have well over 200 points this season. And Joseph Randle for the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to be the featured running back this year in Dallas, but I just think that he is not going to fill the shoes of DeMarco Murray very well. So stay away from Joseph Randle this season.
Alright, now a couple of sleepers this year in fantasy would include names like Frank Gore from Indianapolis. He will not have to be relied on as much with Andrew Luck as his quarterback. Now, there's also Matt Ryan from Atlanta. He's going to have a pretty good year because the new offensive coordinator there, he's going to want to throw the ball downfield, and he will also have Roddy White and Julio Jones to throw the ball to, which is a great passing offense.
Travis Kelce in Cincinnati, we're really big on him this year. Alex Smith is a very conservative passer, as we have mentioned previously. So look for Kelce in the red zone especially, and on maybe second short conversions also. In addition to that, Jeremy Hill in Cincinnati, he is going to be the featured back this year, and he was last year as a rookie. He had a great rookie season, carrying over 1,000 yards, and is projected to have that again. So if you have the later picks in your draft, draft Jeremy Hill. All right, so a couple other wide receivers this year in the sleeper class include names like Jim Macklin and Doug Baldwin. Macklin is in Kansas City this year, and he will be Alex Smith's go-to guy. He had a great preseason this year and made a real connection with Alex Smith, so look for him. Also, Doug Baldwin out in Seattle. He's projected to have over 850 yards this season, I believe, and maybe 4 or 5 touchdowns. So if you need a late-round wide receiver, go grab Doug Baldwin.
Alright, now a couple of other sleepers would include names like John Brown. Now, he's a deep sleeper this year. He's from Arizona. He's going to be their number 2 receiver. He is going to, I believe, be the person who takes over for Larry Fitz, because he's getting really old and they're going to need someone to replace him. There's also Charles Johnson from Minnesota. Now, he's had a really good connection with Teddy Bridgewater at the end of last year, and he has looked really good in camp this year, so watch out for him. And there's also Amir Abdullah from the Lions, running back. He is right now behind Joique Bell on the depth chart, but he had an amazing preseason, and look for him to take the starting job and just run away with it.
All right, this was Fantasy Football in 5. We thank you for joining us. We deliver all your fantasy news in 5 minutes or less, because who wouldn't want to watch a 30-minute video on this topic?
Amen.
We thank you for joining us, and next week we will talk about the Week 1 studs and duds and the wrap-up for this week. And if you're wondering why we're out here, this is where we live.